familiar situation, the police officer confronting danger, often death. He reacts quickly, instinctively, and decisively with selfless commitment to duty. For the television cop, life is a series of confrontations, a constant testing of his courage and dedication. For the real police officer, life is not quite so spectacular, and dedication is a quality not so easily defined.
You don't need dedication for a lot of jobs. You can fake dedication in a lot of jobs. You can fake interest. You have to be dedicated to be a good policeman. There is a lot at stake. There's a lot to lose. And if that decision to become a policeman isn't made within oneself, you're not really a policeman. You might be a human body inside of a uniform carrying a badge on your chest, but you're not a policeman.
The fire exacted no loss of life due to Officer Bradley S. Young and Officer James A. McCann, due to their presence of mind, courage, and selfless determination. So intense were the heat, smoke, and fire.
Each time I put on the uniform and the badge and gun, it's going to be a different thing altogether. The thing that keeps me in police work is the excitement of the job. It's constantly changing and constantly interesting.
Placing his own life in jeopardy, Officer Gary F. Gerard exhibited uncommon courage and deep concern for the innocent in confronting armed and desperate felons. The capture of the two vicious criminals was completed without injury to the clerk.
I do think about situations that might possibly leave my wife without a husband and leave my children without a father. It can happen. It can happen anytime. But yet, it can happen anytime when you walk out of your house, too. It's a job like everybody else's job, except perhaps in my line of work, I might have more dangerous situations that I have to get into.
Bearing the victims out of the room, they found themselves hemmed in by fast-spreading flames. Culling up their last reserves of strength, they managed to break down the door, and in so doing, they saved two young adults from certain death. They are Officers Ronald P. Skyvink, Officer.
Policemen are not all the same. They differ in looks, age, background, hobbies, and interests. But they are the same in one way. They find fulfillment in police work, in doing the job no matter what it calls for, in being able to rise to the extraordinary challenge that may erupt in a routine day. Zlatko Nick Sintik is the latest name on the Police Department Memorial Honor Roll at Parker Center. He was killed doing his job in the dead of night in a dangerous place. To him, it was routine action, even though fatal. Many routine police actions turn out to be fatal, but not all result in a hero's medal. I'm Joseph Campanella. This year, 10 policemen doing what they had to do won the Los Angeles Police Department's highest award, the Medal of Valor. One of them died.
Every officer is trained to rather instinctively do something that's above and beyond what the average citizen would expect, but there's a point where every logical man sort of stops, and these fellows all stopped there and they thought a fraction of a second, and they went forward and did something that virtually no man would do, and so they're extremely unique individuals. To those gallant and valorous officers, the one medal we're giving posthumously to the widow of Nick Sintek, all of us have to take our hats off to you.
When I received the Medal of Valor for Nick at the awards dinner, the only thought I could think of was, I wished it had been Nick standing there instead of me. And I kept saying, don't ruin this day for Nick. Don't pass out. Honey, I wished you were here, but I'm going to do this for you, and I want to do it right.
Zlatko N. Sintek, winner of the Medal of Valor. Husband of Linda, father of Nick, 2 years old, and Nicole, 7 years old. Killed in the performance of duty, February 12, 1976.
When I walk into the den, which is Nick's room, I have all of his awards and his badge and all his things on the wall. Some people might think that would make you upset, but it kind of puts me at ease. I feel like I'm with him, that I can see what his life was worth, and it makes it easier. Nick was kind, he was general, he was a very outgoing, friendly, warm person. He just seemed to glow with the idea that he was what he was. His proudest thing was the uniform and his badge. He wore his uniform with pride. Everyone had always said Nick was great to have as a partner.
Nick Sintek was doing something that he very much loved to do, and that was police work. He was a real good policeman.
Gary Gerard was with Nick Sintek the night both won their Medals of Valor. It wasn't the incident in which Nick was killed.
17-0-27, night watch clear.
21-4-3-4-3.
You want the actual radio?
The night that Nick and I were involved in the shooting, there had been nothing all night long. We had just been driving around, we had made a few traffic stops, and then all of a sudden everything happened.
Everything happened. Gerard and Sintek spotted a suspect car in the parking lot of an all-night market. They hid behind the brick wall and watched through the window, 2 men robbing the clerk. There was a gas station next door and a number of people there. Gerard and Sintek went inside, exposed themselves to fire to prevent a shootout outside that might have injured innocent people. Sintek shot one of the hold-up men, and Gerard subdued the other. No one else was hurt. Less than a month later, Nick Sintek was shot and killed in a similar incident. Gary F. Gerard, born in Hamtramck, Michigan, January 11, 1944. 8 years on the Los Angeles Police Force. Married, 2 young sons.
My oldest boy always thought he wanted to be a policeman. And after Nick Sintek was killed, he told my wife he didn't think he'd be a policeman.
On the street I'm standing on right now on the corner.
Richard L. Gray, 32 years old, almost 6 years on the force.
Are you sure you can take care of yourself?
I'm positive.
Where are you going?
Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a policeman. And I felt that this was a job that would be challenging, and you never know from day to day what you're going to run into.
In June of 1975, he saved a young boy being held at knife point by a mentally disturbed father at a liquor store.
We approached the store cautiously. I saw inside the store the man holding about an 8-inch knife to the throat of a young boy.
Gray pulled the boy to safety and narrowly escaped being stabbed while subduing the father.
14040.
When I heard I received the award, it was an exciting moment for me. I was thrilled to hear it happen, but I was also felt any officer in my shoes at that particular time, I feel, would have done the same thing.
Richard L. Gray, married to Diane, father of Gary, 6 years old.
My wife knew, before we were married, what the job entailed, and she realizes the danger that's involved. It's something that's there that we both live with.
It doesn't sound too busy. Our radio's kind of quiet. Maybe it'll be slow tonight.
Bradley Young is well named. He is young, 23, unmarried. He's been on the force 2 years, not long, but long enough to win a Medal of Valor.
What color was that van we're supposed to be looking for tonight that's got the guns in it?
Blue and white or green and white or something like that. Check the notebook.
I get most of my satisfaction not from the department, but from the people. When we're able to arrest somebody who we've been looking for, who's been a great nuisance to the community, I get a great deal of satisfaction knowing and seeing the faces of the people that I help and having a personal contact with people at their home level.
On February 23, 1975, Bradley Young had personal contact with 2 people at their home level.
We were on routine patrol, and I saw a large group of people standing on the front lawn in front of a large apartment building. We observed flames and smoke coming from one of the upper stories. I pulled to the curb, and I was the first one out of the vehicle running towards the front door. I wasn't really concerned about my own safety, and I think Jim McCann was the same way.
James A. McCann, 28 years old, 5 years a Los Angeles police officer. With Bradley Young, he saved 2 elderly people from a burning apartment building.
By the time we arrived, the building was on fire. There were people inside, and we didn't have time to stop and think about anything but to get them out.
With Bradley Young, he went into the building, cleared the lobby of people, ran up to the 2nd floor already engulfed in flame, and helped rescue 2 residents too old and confused to help themselves.
Quite honestly, I didn't want to go into the building, but there's nobody else. You know, I mean, we have to go in there. You can't very well grab some citizen off the street and say, would you do me a favor, go evacuate the building.
James A. McCann, wife Marcy Jean, and 2 small daughters.
Marcy understands the job. She knows that I'd be dissatisfied doing anything else. Obviously, I've got a responsibility to my family, but at the same time, if I backed off from something that I should be doing, I couldn't live with myself, I couldn't live with my family.
I heard a couple units go code 6 on some firecrackers down here. We'll stop down and see what they're doing.
Big time.
Big time.
I don't classify myself as a hero. I classify myself as a policeman. In my opinion, any policeman, especially in the city of Los Angeles, that pins a badge on his chest and steps off the curb into the streets to do his work ought to be given the Medal of Valor.
I just got a call from your undercover Frank. Says he just got another buy from Simon, your John Doe Simon. This is the second heroin buy from him. You guys got him identified yet?
Not yet, no.
Roy B. Wunderlich works the narcotics detail these days, plain clothes. We can't show his face.
Blue pants, red shirt, white tennis shoes.
He shouldn't be hard to spot. He's got that scar side of his face. Okay, we're going to go on out there then.
Okay. See you later. Becky. Here.
Okay, where's this pool hall exactly?
Think it's, you can turn left up here on 4th Street.
One night in January 1975, Roy Wunderlich was driving down the Hollywood freeway. He saw a burning car, woman driver trapped inside.
The interior of the car was fully aflame. She was fully on fire. I thought to myself, my God, she's burning up. You got to help her.
He tried repeatedly to break the car window and finally did. He reached into the flames and dragged the woman out moments before the car exploded. She suffered third-degree burns, but she recovered. Wunderlich saved her life.
I don't think she chose to be in that car burning up like that. And I think I owed it to her to get her out. That could have been my wife, my kid, my mother. And I'm sure she's somebody's somebody.
Yeah, that's it, right there. Okay, why don't we make a couple passes? Maybe he's on the block. I'll see if I can see anything inside.
You think that's a guy with a blue jacket?
Roy B. Wunderlich, 32 years old, 6 years on the force, wife and 3 kids.
I know that I'm going to come home no matter what, and no matter what the situation may be. My main goal is to come home.
William Sumter, 33 years old, 7 years a Los Angeles policeman. Wife, Virginia. Children, William Carey, 7, Kimberly Carey, 5.
My wife is aware of the dangers of the job, and she handles them pretty well, I believe. Every day before I go to work, she usually wants to be there to see me before I leave. We always part with loving thoughts between each other.
William James Sumter, cited for conspicuous bravery and presence of mind in rescuing 2 citizens trapped in a burning residence.
Well, that morning seemed pretty much like any other day. Christmas is not too far away. I've been thinking of that, and I saw the smoke up over the treetops of the other houses, and I pointed it out to my partner, and we headed in that direction.
The house was in the back. A new structure now stands in its place. The old house burned to the ground that day.
When we got there, the whole front of the house was on fire. So at the time, I knew that there was a chance of being killed and possibly leaving my family without me. I don't really think it's fair to them, but it wouldn't be fair to myself or to other people if we didn't have policemen out there doing what I'm doing.
Corrigan. Here. Rayworth.
Here.
Sheehan.
Here.
Skyvink.
Here.
Ronald Skyvink was Bill Sumter's partner that day. He helped bring 2 people safely out of the fire.
I remember when I rolled on that fire, I ran out of my car and I asked, was anybody inside? He said, yeah, my friend is inside. I became insane almost. I saw this whole house ablaze, and all I could think of, God, I gotta get the guy out. I gotta get him out.
The weapon used was a folding buck knife with a blade approximately 5 inches long. The vehicle is a 68 Buick Riviera, 2-door, black over red.
Ronald Skyvink, born in Indonesia, 28 years old. Wife, Karen. Children, Jamie Lynn, 7, Stacy Lee, 5.
My wife understands that it's a very dangerous job. She's gotten over that stage where she's always worrying about it. She's willing to go along with it if that's what I want to do.
Joe Adolph was there, too, at that fire. He helped save those two people, and he was hospitalized for smoke inhalation.
It's funny, you don't realize you're scared until it's all over with. And I got outside and it just scared me. I started shaking. Finally, at that time, I realized, hey, I could have died in there. I could have got burned up. I might not have found my way out.
Let me ask you this. You haven't worked on the car, are you?
Right now, I'm working vehicle theft suppression. It's a gratifying job. A typical day could be tailing a commercial auto thief for the duration of 8 hours. There's supposed to be a Cadillac down here off 21st Street, Gil. It's supposed to be tagged up. It's brown over yellow.
I think it's parked right there.
We recover a lot of cars that have been missing for 6-8 months. The ID numbers have been switched.
It sure looks like the car.
It's supposed to have those Seville hubcaps on it, though. They could have sold those or traded them or something. It's clean. Got that 836 Paul Edward Ida. Just who that belongs to, if it belongs there.
2 King 532 King 90.
We'll find the rightful owner of the car that never expected to see it again, and bingo, you recover the car and you say, hey, I've got your car. It makes me happy.
3 DMV 836 Paul Edward Ida.
Joe Adolph, 31 years old, 9 years on the force. Wife, Mary Jo. Children, Dana 10, Jason 6.
My wife, Mary Jo, has accepted the fact that it is a dangerous job. To be really honest, you never assume it's going to happen to me, and I don't think she ever thinks it's going to happen to me.
Well, we've got a motorcycle we've been chasing on the uncompleted CB3-way. Look at you up here. We're going to need some air help.
17Z45 to 2W90. Do you have an air unit in the valley?
To 71, if there isn't anything else going on, I'm going to leave here.
We could probably take receipt of come in behind you, you think?
They'll probably stay off the road.
I wonder if that's the same guy that's been stealing bikes. They've been stealing quite a few out of our DO2 and dumping them in the mountains.
Lawrence A. Mudgett, single, 29 years old, 7 years a Los Angeles policeman.
Yeah, they got him. It'd be interesting to see if that car's still, or that motorcycle's stolen.
Sounds like they got enough units up there, Wood.
Yeah, I don't think
On your average day, we may not even handle a hot call. Sometimes we'll handle 3 or 4 or 5 in an evening. So it's pretty hard to predict.
Other unit requesting 7 repeat.
I just seen something down the street.
1777. What do you got?
That's that same blue Chevy that was talked about in roll call. Let's see if that guy matches that composite.
It's been said about many occupations, and to a great degree it applies to police work, and that is that it's hours and hours of boredom interspaced with moments of stark terror.
For Larry Mudgett, February 12, 1976 was not an average day. It was the day Nick Sintic had answered a silent burglar alarm at a hamburger place and got shot. Sintic had tried to enter the back door and been surprised by a gunman inside. He was shot 3 times, staggered and fell in an exposed position around the side of the building. Larry Mudgett answered a call of officer down. He arrived to find Nick Sintic lying in the line of fire. He ran out and carried Sintic to cover and almost got shot himself. Larry Mudgett still finds it difficult to talk about what happened next.
I laid him down behind a cement wall, and he said, "Take it easy, I got a gut full of lead." I heard the siren coming. I asked him if he was breathing okay, and he didn't answer. And about 10 minutes after I got back to the station, I was informed that Nick had died.
A lot of men die and leave nothing behind. Nick left a great many things behind, a great deal of pride in what he did and what he stood for, and I don't think he died in vain. I think he would have been proud to say, I did what I had to do, and that my life wasn't wasted.
doing as strangers when they grow up?
Yeah, I know, but I'm beginning to feel more like a social worker than a cop.
I can't help you with that. You've been on the force 10 years. If you still have to prove to yourself that you're a tough cop, that's your problem. But the reality is that cops are the only ones who can protect these kids. We're the only ones who are out there seeing it go down. And we're the only ones with the power to stop it. If I can spot the abuse, get the kids out of that house, lean on their bastard parents, and any good cop can do the same.
That's not children. No, the Bible said that it is new. Mama, baby, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yes, the strong get smart while the weak ones stay. Empty pockets don't ever make the grave. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Monday, you've got lots of friends. They're crowded round your door. But when you're gone and spending ends, they don't come no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own.
The information discussed on KY's Financial Market